And some scotch tape.
Yeah.
Need to invest in
Blind.
That's about all we can do.
So coming in here at the bottom, is
Oh, you're fine.
It's better than nothing, I think.
Yes.
Just want to let everyone know that we're still experimenting. We started last month. We are videoing and audioing the board meeting. The hopes are that we will eventually be able to post it on YouTube. So I don't know if this one will actually get that, we'll get that far with this one, but eventually that's our next step with the technology.
Once we get that technology, we'll get the tape.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll buy a
We
curtain.
go from audio and video to
Shade.
a t-shirt over a window.
Yeah, is that on camera?
It's the Viking way.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so the first item up is the approval of the previous minutes from the meeting for August 10th and August 24th. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from last month's meeting and the budget hearing.
Second.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by Mr. Schmidt and seconded by Mr. Stock to approve the minutes from the previous meetings dated August 10th and August 24th. Any questions or concerns regarding those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. Next, we have the claim docket for the period of August 10th through September 14th. We'll entertain a motion to approve that claim docket.
I'll make a motion to approve the claim docket.
Second.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Oakley and seconded by Mrs. Will to approve the claim docket presented for the period of August 10th, 2015 to September 14th, 2015. Any questions or concerns regarding the claim docket?
I had one question about the matrix integration. Those purchases were all on our plan, our technology plan that we had discussed.
And the purchases that were there were basically the library things and the things that we've done for the project. And there may have been some miscellaneous cords, things like that, but 90-something% of it was basically for that.
I have a question about the tennis technology. We have one payment there. I know it's quite a bit less than the estimate was for the repair.
I'd like to say they gave us a discount because we were so good to work with, but that is just a partial payment. And then when they complete the job, they'll ask for the remainder.
Any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor of approving the claim docket, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. The next,
Okay. We, in the past years, as long as I can remember, we've had an agreement, our nurses have had agreements with Dr. Chester Burkett to be our physician and our provider and provide assistance for our well-being of our staff and students.
oh, we gotta do patron concerns first.
Okay, sorry. You
Sorry.
want to sign that first?
You're gonna get me out of whack and I won't be able to get back
Okay,
in
my
slide.
bad.
Next item up is patron concerns. Looks like we have one, just a reminder, that we don't use personnel issues during patron concerns, so we ask that you not identify people by their name. We respect that. We do have one person signed up for this. And remind them if anybody is wanting to speak in patron concerns, the sign up is before the meeting. Mr. Reitheiser?
Yes, I was just curious if you could give an update on the problem with the first grade class sizes at South Terrace Elementary. what is being done to rectify this, the fact that there's, what I feel and many parents feel, there's too many children per teacher. The same group of kids were in kindergarten, they had three teachers. When they got to first grade, they have 2 teachers, and so you have more kids per teacher ratio. I feel like these kids are still a bit too immature to have that many in that class per the teacher. It's causing a lot of issues with conduct and with learning in the class. So I was just wondering if there was anything done in the budget or anything like that that could be help fix that situation.
Let me respond.
Go ahead.
At this time, we have a couple of situations where we have our eyes and we're watching. We have a couple of different classes that we're watching real close. The first grade class, 23 and 23, right now is not the top priority. Top priority is another class in the district. We look at those numbers, and while we wish we could have 17 and 17 or 15 and 15, when you look across southern Indiana, 23 and 23 is not out of the norm. And just this past Sunday, there was something put in the paper, and there's a Yankeetown has 28, Castle has 24.3, Sharon Elementary has 25.2, Scott Elementary has 24.4. So, I mean, those aren't ideal numbers. Nobody really wants to have that. But with the elimination of prime time, class sizes across the whole state went up. So, but we're still looking at it. We're not saying that we're not going to do anything and we're not going to take our eyes off of it, but there's been no progress on any of that. Count day's Friday, and then after that, we'll look and start making some decisions and a priority list of things that we need.
May I ask another question in response to his response? Is that okay?
Sure.
Um,
We really don't want to, this
Well, I
form's really
understand.
not for question and
I
answer,
understand.
but
I understand. The statement was made that this was not the top priority, but another class was. Can you divulge what other class is a priority as well? besides
Yeah,
the
we're
first grade?
looking at our sixth grade at North Elementary as well.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
and that's all we had for patrons concerned. Now new business.
Okay. Like I said, Dr. Chester Burkett, we've had the agreement with him for years. He helps us maintain our student welfare and teacher welfare. And this memorandum of understanding is between our nurses and Dr. Burkett. And Mr. Gentile, you're supposed to sign that document so that we can put that memorandum of understanding into practice. And he's provided them with standing orders, so all of the things are in place that we need for that.
I guess we need to approve that, don't
No, we just always have signed it,
we? Okay.
and it's just a standing orders where he works for them.
Okay.
New business, at this time, we've had the budget hearing, we've gone through everything. Carol has worked diligently to get everything completed. We've advertised as we were supposed to, and I'm asking the board to approve the 2016 budget, Form 1, 2, 4, 4A, 4B, which 4B needs to be signed tonight. Our CPF plan, our bus replacement plan. Also, the budget consists of a rainy day resolution, a resolution for a fall budget hearing, a resolution for the adoption of the 3-year or the 2016 capital projects plan, the adoption resolution for the adoption of the 2016 bus replacement plan, the tax neutrality resolution, and the 2016 budget transfer resolution. Those resolutions are things that we use that helps us operate and maneuver the budget throughout the year. I have those here with me if you would like any more detail on any of those.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the budget and forms and resolutions as presented by Dr. King.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget forms and resolutions as presented.
Second.
I'll second it.
So, motion by Mr. Oakley and seconded by Mrs. Will to approve the budget form, the forms, the plans, the resolutions, and transfer resolutions as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions regarding those? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Okay, this is the one that needs to be signed by everyone.
We need to check the box too.
Okay. Here is the resolution for the capital projects plan. It needs to be signed. Here's the resolution and the bus replacement plan, and that's the bus replacement plan.
You give me all these.
Yeah, there's another one back there. Yeah, sorry, I was over panicked, I was looking for the other one, but they got clipped to that one. Here's the rainy day and the resolution for the fall budget here. Vince, can do that
Yes,
one too.
there's several of them he needs to sign,
I know
yes. Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You have to do that one, this too. There'll be a test piece. The 2016 budget then has been approved by the board. What happens to it at this point, the timeline real quick is just, it goes to the state, it is reviewed by the state, and then somewhere around, hopefully in December, we'll get our 1782 notice, and that will be the approval of the state of the budget with any revisions that they make us make. And then once they do that, I'll inform you of the revisions that we've made, and then, then we'll be able in 2016 open up the appropriations for the new budget. Next on the agenda is asking the board to approve a 2-year contract with the NEA North Posing. We had multiple meetings with the negotiating team, the Teachers Association. The Teachers Association overwhelmingly passed the contract agreement, the 2-year agreement. The agreement has been given to you, and I think it's in the write-up as well as I've given you, I've sent it to you in Office 365 and also here. The 2-year agreement, corporation, we adopted a performance compensation model to make us compliant with the state. In 2015-16, we're going to give the teachers $75,000 new money to go into the compensation model to be distributed among the qualified teachers. 2016-17, we agreed that we would give the teachers 66% of the new money based on a definition that we defined. And we'll find out what the new money is through the state tuition support worksheet that is provided to us by the DOE, and we will come up with a student count. We'll plug that number in and figure out what the 66% is. If there happens to be no new money, then there'll be no reoccurring dollar raise. Also, we agreed that if there are 3 or more retirements in the corporation, we would give them 66% of the money generated from the top of our scale to the bottom. Also, we agreed to a $500 addition to the health insurance plan, to the high deductible plan, both high deductible plans for the family and the single. Raising the family plan from $9,000 to $9,500 a contribution from the corporation, and from $3,900 to $4,400 on the single plan. We also agreed for both years of the contract to continue the HSA contribution of $750 to the individuals and $1,500 to the people that have the family plan. This will be distributed in February of each year. We'll continue the 1% matching retirement plan for the teachers. Also, we created 4 positions for the new social media positions that we needed in the master contract. And as we've discussed, we would like a 5th position so that we'll have somebody in the central office to be able to do that as well. So that is the contract as listed. Dave Kaler, the UNISERV director, and one representative off the bargaining team is coming in this week, and we're going to try to redo the contract and have it 100% totally ready to be sent to IRB. So I'm asking the board to approve that 2-year agreement with the association.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve the contract.
Make a motion, we approve the contract.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Stock and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the 2-year contract as presented by Dr. Camp with the changes and additions as outlined in his presentation. Any comments or questions regarding the contract?
You were saying that this is deficit spending. So
Yeah, when we sat down in negotiations, you know, last year we did not give the teachers a raise because we were deficit spending. One of the things that we wanted to do, we did give out stipends the previous year, and we gave out HSA money. And so what we tried to do is say, all right, we can't continue to deficit spend. We can't continue to take us further away from, you know, being in the black. And so we sat down and we agreed to some figures here. If our, you know, the only assumption is that our student population stays around 1,400. If that happens, then we'll be able to drive back toward the black. And I have something here to show you in the next presentation to kind of give you some dollar figures of how that will go. So they knew we were deficit spending. They knew they didn't get a raise. We knew because of all of our successes we needed to give a raise. And with that being said, we jointly came up with some numbers that would allow the corporation to move toward the black.
I'd like to commend both parties. I think it was a creative effort to solve the solution of going away from the the 10-year format in years past and kind of equally give out shares for the young teachers as well as the teachers at the top of the scale. And it's good input on both sides. I think it's a fair plan. I mean,
The compensation model that we created, it doesn't create a huge addition for the people not at the top of what we consider of our ranges, but it does allow teachers to move up through the ranges, maybe not as a fast a pace as they would have in the increment plan of the days of old, but this plan's in place now, and we can look at it and tweak it and try to make it better and try to help people know that they're gonna get money and be able to go move toward a higher wage with experience.
it'll be interesting to see what other corporations start doing because they're all having to go through this exact same process. So, anything further? All in favor of the motion to approve the contract, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. You need to sign it. I may need to have you sign again right there for the president, where it says president, top, yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I may need to have you sign that again, but after we delete the things out of the master contract that have to come out by law, and we do some tweaking, it might not be page 12 anymore, so if it's
Okay.
not, I may have you sign again, but I wanted to get that just in case.
Sure.
Next thing on the list, we have 135 non-certified employees that are anxiously awaiting to see what we would do for them. And I have to give credit to the bargaining team because they didn't come in and try to get every dollar that we could give out. They did say that everybody deserves a raise, so they did scale back so that we could come up with a scenario. We're asking to take the pay scale, which is a 5-tier scale for all of the non-certified employees, and give all of the non-certified employees a 50 cents per hour raise. If you look at the sheet, we do have some green that has already been established. You passed the head cook, cafeteria workers, and the ones in the green and previous. Their funds come out of a different fund, so we went ahead and moved those before. The ones in the pink are positions that I've talked with you about that I would like to make more than the 50 cents per hour. The maintenance assistants, because of the way we moved some people around, it just didn't work out. People were going to get a higher level job and take a pay cut, so we kind of adjusted that and fixed that. And then the custodial maintenance supervisor, I would like to adjust that like we did the food service director to make it more equitable with that group of non-certified employees that work for the entire corporation. With that being said, to kind of put you at a little bit of ease, do you have that one in there? That's the one that has the breakdown of the money. Okay. We just kind of quick here on this piece of paper. We overspent in 2014 $277,000. What Vince was talking about deficit spending, and that was eating up our general fund. If you take what we gave out in stipends last year and the things that we did last year, minus the HSA because we gave it last year and we're giving it again this year, the difference is what we're giving out this year to all groups of people, the teachers, the non-certified, the administrators, everybody, is $45,500 to the good, to the black. So we started out at 277 in the red. We're $45,500 different, less than what we gave out in stipends last year, which brings us to deficit spending $231,500. And I can't give you, these are all estimates because we haven't had count day yet, but we're estimating about $80,000 new money. And if our numbers stay where they are, we will achieve that. And they've held for a week or more, so $80,000 more money than we got last year from the state would bring that down to $151,500. And then with some savings that we made with non-certified staff, people leaving and hiring people in at a lesser value, is about $40,000. So that brings that deficit spending down to about $111,500. Now, all that's estimates, and it could change. One of the things that I know that we did that will drive it back up, we added a half a special education teacher, which, so, that may adjust it a little bit. So we are moving back toward the black with the contract settlement and the settlement with the non-certified staff. Right now, we're estimating if we don't lose enrollment next year, or we lose very little, we'll get another increase in funding for next year because of the difference in the ADM per student. So I feel pretty good about the contract settlement with the teachers and the one-year settlement with the non-certified. Now, I am asking that we hold off on the stipends for the non-certified staff until we know exactly what the teachers are going to get in the performance grant, and then we'll pay them out of the performance grant, and we'll entertain the thought of a stipend at that time for all of the non-certified staff. But that'll be in probably 2016. So I don't know when that money's going to come. Right now, they're saying that they're not going to have that performance money to us until late December. So I don't want to set anything here until we set something with the teachers. So anyway, I'm asking you to approve the non-certified chart, proposed salary schedules for these positions as listed.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-cert proposed salary schedule as listed.
Second.
Second it.
We have a motion by Mrs. Will and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the non-certified salary schedule increases as presented by Dr. Camp. Any questions or concerns regarding that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Dearborn National, they hold our life insurance. This is a rate that they're asking for the upcoming year. If you just go down and look at the difference in the rates, there are some slight increases. This isn't a big ticket item for us, but I do have Scott Schaus checking on it, because we went a couple of years without an increase, but there is an increase this year from 13 to 15, and if you go down the list, there's a couple of increases. We have different groups of people. The retirees pay their own, so theirs is paid by them. It's just the amount that we pay for our current employees. He is checking on it. I'm asking you to go ahead and approve this, but he's hoping by the end of the day tomorrow, he's asking for some reprieve, and maybe some of these may go down a penny. So I'm hoping for that, but I can't guarantee it. We know we've got this, and then if they do not want to work with us, then we'll probably put it out to market next year. But anyway, I'm asking to approve these rates as listed, and then we're hoping to get a reduction in a couple of them. So.
And we'll entertain a motion to approve the Dearborn National Group Life rates and disability programs as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Dearborn National rates as stated.
I'll second.
First by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve the long-term disability rates and the Dearborn National Group Life rates as presented. Any questions or comments regarding these? So this renewal, is this a one-year renewal?
This is a 1 year.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0.
The next item on the list is Vanguard. We have a fire protection service with them and contract. They sent this on an invoice, which I'm gonna have them come back and put it on a sheet, that is a contract that is signed. But I wanna go ahead and approve it and agree to it because they did not increase the prices any. Everything's the exact same. So the fire protection services that they provide throughout the corporation and the biannual testing and for the sensitivity and the inspection for the clocks and the different systems that we have, I'd like to go ahead and approve that. And it is the same price. They've held pretty steady for us and do a pretty good job. It's $5,994.96. And I am going to get this put into contract form, but I'd like for the board to go ahead and approve the contract for Vanguard and the fire protection services that they provide for 1 year.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Vanguard Alarm Services.
I'll
Second.
second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Oakley and seconded by Mr. Stock to approve the 1-year contract from Vanguard Alarm Services as presented by Dr. Camp. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0.
Next on the list is people asking for to apply for grants. Some of them we had to go ahead and send in some paperwork because of the board meeting and the deadline for the grants. But I'm asking for permission for Kelly Carton to apply at Posey County Community Foundation, $9,438. Dr. Wannermuller, $20,000 for the Safe Haven grant to help fund our social worker program.
That grant we've already received,
It was received. Excuse me. The receiving of that grant.
So we're
And-
accepting.
receiving, yeah.
And then Steve Kavanaugh permission to accept the $60,000 Heroes Grant that will be given to us over a 3-year period, $17,750.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the applying and accepting of these grants.
Second.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Stock and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the application and accepting of the grants as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions?
I've got a question on the Posey County Community Foundation grant for the iPads. Is that something that all schools could apply for?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can apply for anything there, and then they have their own committee they go through and they decide who gets what.
Okay. Mrs. Carlton just happened to find that one.
She
Would've been
generally
nice.
every year has a project that she applies for with the Posey County Community Foundation. And Mrs. Campbell usually has one, oh, not Rogers, sorry, usually has one that she always does. I usually have one. So it's just knowing when that time window opens and.
I know the iPads was something that was brought up at the PTO meeting, and
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see all the schools applying for something
Uh-huh.
like that.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
We have some facility use requests. The Cub Scout Pack Troop 387 and wants to use the multipurpose room at North Elementary on the dates listed. The Kiwanis would like to use North Elementary parking lot for the annual Autumn Festival. The Girl Scouts of Southwest Indiana wants to use South Terrace 6 to 7:30 p.m. on the dates that are listed. The Junior Girl Scout Troop 268 would like to use Mrs. Dugan's classroom for their meeting at 2:50 to 4 o'clock on Mondays on the various dates. And Derek Wiggins would like to start a volunteer junior high Sunday fall practice schedule for anybody that would like to come out and do throwing, pitching, catching, those type of things for baseball. He's trying to get some participation in some from the junior high, so it's not such a big jump whenever they come to the high school, so they're already used to some of the verbiage and techniques. And he said if he gets enough turnout, he'd like to have some sort of little scrimmage to finalize it, so he would like to do that as well.
Need a motion for the facility use request?
I'll make a motion to approve the facility requests as listed.
Second.
I'll second it.
So motion by Mrs. Will and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the facility use request as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Washmer has submitted a request for the FFA to go on an overnight field trip to Louisville, Kentucky, to the National FFA Convention. He participates in that every year, and I recommend we allow him to go on that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the field trip request by Mr. Rossmer.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve the overnight field trip request by Mr. Wassmer for the FFA students. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
We're required each year to update our fire evacuation plans. Each school has submitted their fire evacuations plans. I think when we gave it to you, you got 3 of them, but the 4th one has been submitted. The elementaries had to do some work on theirs because of the construction, different routing, and all of that has been signed off on and completed. And so I recommend that we approve the updated fire evacuation safety plans. When the construction is completed, we'll probably have to revise them again.
Will the other one be added to Office 365?
Yeah, we didn't do that today, just for the mere fact it was another 100 pages, and we didn't want to mess with the board packet and everything, so we'll get that in Office 365. There'll be an Office 365, and they'll also be in the evaluation legal requirements.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the fire safety and evacuation plans.
Second.
I'll second it.
So a motion by Mr. Oakley, seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the fire safety and evacuation plans for each school. As presented by Dr. Camp. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Streeter submitted a request to make a correction in his staffing request. He only listed one person, I think, when he submitted that, and he would like to correct that. It was the way it was the year before. Carrie Schmidt and Sarah Meyer as the co-head coaches for the 2015-16 year, and they're splitting the stipend 50% each. So I'd like to make that correction.
Take a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the correction to the air and staffing for the
Second.
football team.
A second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Stock and seconded by Mrs. Will to approve the correction for the Spellbow coaches as presented by, or as requested by Dr. Streeter. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign.
And one resignation, Patrick Rose submitted a request to resign as the boys' basketball coach at South Terrace, effective immediately.
Motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation from Patrick Rose as the South Terrace Elementary basketball coach.
Second.
I'll second.
So a motion by Mr. Schmidt and seconded by Mrs. Will to accept the resignation of Patrick Rose as the boys' basketball coach at South Terrace. Any comments, questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Under hiring for the 2015-16 school year, Steve Kavanaugh would like to hire Leslie Ricker as the 7th grade girls basketball coach. Larry Colley would like to have Chelsea Smith, Tyler Nicole, and Nicole Perry as non-paid volunteer coaches for the girls basketball team. Robert Dell would like to have Sean Burks as a non-paid volunteer for the soccer program. Heath Howington would like to have Tyler Eigel, Damon Carden, Josh Smith, and Jason Simmons as non-paid volunteers for the basketball program. I'd like to approve those hires.
I'll make a motion to approve the hires as listed.
I'll second that.
So a motion by Mr. Oakley and seconded by Mr. Stock to approve the hiring request as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
We've got them all marked off on the, I saw it in a few of the letters, but they're all approved.
The ones I've received, yeah, I've updated that
Volunteer.
form.
Okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
We have 3 personal leaves. Janet Yelling requests to visit her son who is stationed in Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho in October. Jason Boyle is requesting to go be off September the 28th through October the 2nd to go on a trip to Cozumel, Mexico that his wife won. And Shelley Egan is requesting to be off October 14th through 19th for a personal trip.
I'll make a motion to accept the following leave request as listed.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Will and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the personal leaves as presented by Dr. Camp. I guess the only question I'd have is on the personal trip being gone like that. Seems like, are we?
Yeah. Shelley is the librarian aide at the high school, and she's asking to go. In the past we've allowed them. We've gotten strict on it one time, and then it got back under control, and so it's kind of a thing that we go back and forth on.
We still encourage that not to happen though.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0.
FMLA, Donna Ray Wolfson needed to be off September the 2nd to approximately October 13th for a serious health condition. She had surgery. Amanda Caudell for the birth of her child, approximately October the 26th to January 4th, and Lauren Bumgart for the birth of her child, January 4th until the end of the year. Requesting that we approve these FMLA requests.
I'll make a motion to approve the FMLA request.
Second.
I'll second it.
A motion by Mr. Oakley and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the FMLA request as presented by Dr. Camp. Any other comments or questions?
I did have a comment on the minutes. We should state the end of the school year instead of the end of the year. It's stated on the form as end of the school year.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
We have a list of professional leave requests. I can read through every one of those if you want, or we can just post them up and look at them.
Entertain a motion to approve the professional leave requests.
Make a motion we approve the professional leave request.
Second.
Second.
So a motion by Mr. Stock and seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve the professional leave request as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Next on the list, we have reports. The Fall ISBA Superintendent Association Conference will be September the 27th, 28th, and 29th. I'll get with you and to determine exactly how we're going to travel. That is the fall conference for the school board. It is the state conference and very beneficial. We have the North Posey newsletter, North Posey High School newsletter. We have also calendars from the buildings. And we have the fuel report for you to review. We also have in there, I think I had the agenda for the fall meeting, or the Thursday meeting.
The Thursday meeting for
So I'd like to announce that we do have a meeting Thursday at the high school library,
Yep.
6 p.m. To talk about the space utilization study. Also, would like to say fall break is October 12th. Our next board meeting is October the 12th. And like to entertain some ideas about switching that to the 13th.
It's Columbus Day as well, so it's a national holiday.
It's a bank holiday.
Just because they go one and the same isn't my fault. Yeah, I think we've also talked about that meeting will be at the high school as well.
Yeah. That meeting, we have stated that we'll have that meeting at the high school.
So we'll move that to Tuesday night, just bump it out a date, if you would mind making the corrections on our email calendars.
October the 13th, executive session at 5:30, the regular meeting at 6:30, and the meeting will be held at the high school, and it will be either held, right now I'm not for sure, we'll either have it in the library, the cafeteria, or the auditorium, but I will publish that in plenty of time. I'm not for sure which one that we will go in.
We'll tour at least one if not both of the buildings that
Yes.
night. Sure.
The new renovations. Again, the public meeting on September the 17th at 6 p.m. in the high school junior high media center, and I hope people will attend. And that's all I have for the board meeting.
Valerie, are you gonna be there Thursday night? Or do you know?
I'm going to try. I have the New Harmony meeting at 5.
Okay.
You wanna wait for me?
Sure. Sure. I don't have anything else. Anybody else have anything for the good of the cause?
I have one question. I know we approved to switch to the new Harmony system. Is that fully operational now, or? I had a couple people questioning that the parent portion of it is still the same as it was last year.
The parent portion, I think, is done yet.
I'm not 100% for sure. Is it not up?
I think that some of the new features, I mean, the way it's gonna look for the parents won't look any different. The
I
features that
remember
we're
we could
waiting
change our
on.
passwords, and I know I haven't been able to do
The
that
part
yet.
that is not ready is, they'll be able to combine, like if you have multiple
Mhm.
children, you'll be able to combine to one username and then be able to change your own passwords, and that part's not, I don't think she's got that done, and I don't remember what she was talking, I don't remember where, she has an ETA, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Just don't change when you send out those alarms. I'll never know when it's 5 o'clock again.
Parent Harmony access. I'll check on the access and get you an update on that. And
Appreciate it.
I know that there was some issues early on with teachers and the grade books and those sorts of things, and I thought they got that worked out. And then we had training this summer, and then some of the people that didn't come wanted more training, and that was back and forth. That was an association thing, and so I think we've got all that worked out. And then I really hadn't heard the parent piece yet,
Nothing either.
so we'll check that out.
Any other comments or questions? Or good of the cause? All right, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
A motion by Mr.